All right. Let me make sure I'm live on. Oh, I'm not live. Hold on a minute. Turn Instagram live. Hang tight. We're going to fix that. All right, we're live now on Instagram. Instagram always gives me trouble, Instagram Live. What's up, TSL Nation? Welcome to another episode of The Sales Life. And the sales life is just not for those in the sales profession, man. It's for those who are building the life skills of selling, because we're all selling our way through life. Dude, every episode you hear me talk about, we're all selling our way through life. And let me tell you how interesting life is. Let me tell you how interesting the sales life is. So every day I get most of my content from podcasts. And I love to read, but a lot of the ideas that I generate are from the podcast itself. And so I've got, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 podcasts that I actually listen to. And so I open up my podcast and I just pick random titles. And I'm back on Rich Cardona. I just talked about him with Lauren Johnson about putting consistency before intensity. And we talked about that. And lo and behold, man, I open up Rich's podcast again. He's got a brand new episode. And on there, man, he's got Nick Connor on there. And it's the first thing Nick Connor says is everybody is selling in life. I don't care whether you're in the profession or not in the profession, you are in sales. Boom. Right then and there, dude, I'm in for the rest of the episode. And it is a great episode to listen to. And I highly suggest that you subscribe to Rich's podcast. Definitely, man, you want to check out his conversation with Nick Connor. And I want to pull on a thread of what he said. And he said this. He said, it's less important to know where you're headed. And it's more important to understand how you want to feel. It's less important to know where you're headed and more important to understand how you feel. And oftentimes, those of you who have rocked with me for a while, I always say ATF, act, think, feel. Actions always come before the feelings. But when it comes to starting off or starting a new direction, I think Nick is right. You have to put your feelings before the action. And, Nick had distanced himself from baseball. And he went on to say in the conversation, he said, it wasn't that I missed baseball so much. He said, what I missed is I missed the feelings that I got from playing baseball. And those feelings were the confidence, were the motivation, was the direction. He said, I missed those feelings. And if you really think about it, when you're heading in a direction, if you don't have feelings attached to the direction that you're heading, then you're going to give up. Because, see, the feelings generate the image. And then the image is what triggers the action. So I'm going to tear up the playbook a little bit. I'm going to splice into that a little bit. And I want you to, the general direction, yes, head in a general direction. You need to go in a certain direction, but it's got to be generalized, because the path that you start off with is not going to be the path that you end up with. And you got to understand that. And many times we want with certainty that if I start off on this path, this is exactly how I'm going to end. And that's not going to be the case at all. Ask anyone who was successful, and every single one of them, I promise you, every single one of them will tell you, it did not end up like I was thinking. It's way better, because you're taking your limited scope of knowledge, your experience up until the age that you're at right now, you're using that to determine, okay, this is how life is supposed to be. And that's not the case at all. So what I want you to do is I want you to tweak that a little bit. And what I want you to do is I want you to put the feelings in front, and then the actions. Now, the actions are 0.00000001 to take action. It's not even a full second, because I do believe actions come before the feelings. But when you're first starting off, the feelings, what is the feeling that you want to have when you take this general direction? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Just like with Nick wanted to have those feelings again of confidence, of motivation, of direction, of coaching. He wanted those general feelings. And so he headed in a whole different path that he was on. And as you listen to the story, it took on a whole life of itself. Now, I don't share anything unless I'm willing to live it first. And so let me tell you the Sales Life. The Sales Life podcast was birthed at my lowest, most busted up, darkest times. Dude, I really seriously wanted to end it all. And in the lowest of lowest moments, I created the podcast. And the Sales Life, because I wanted to have the feelings again of motivation, of confidence, of value, of being able to contribute, of peace, of clarity. See, when you're in the state that I was in, I was demoted. I was broke. And so what kind of feelings do you think I have? Bad feelings, dark feelings, wanting to end it all, not go on kind of feelings. But what I did is the podcast, the Sales Life, ended up becoming the vehicle that carried the feelings that I wanted to have. So as you start in this new direction, or as you start in a direction, put some feelings with that thing. What is the feeling that you want to have? And so every time now when I come out with another episode, and the first year I came out back in 2017, I vowed to have a 5-minute podcast every single day. So it was going to be 365 podcasts. After that, dude, I was going to walk away from it. But what it's ended up doing is it took a life of its own. And the more I held myself to those feelings, because I wanted the feeling of motivation, of clarity, of peace. I shared all of those things. I still do, of motivation, of value, of contributing, of clarity, if I didn't say that. I wanted those feelings. And that's every single episode. That is the feeling I'm working toward every single day. And as I do that, those feelings get stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say for a second, will you have the don't wants? Of course you're going to have the don't wants. There are days I don't want to go to work. There are days I don't want to go talk to a customer. There are days I don't want to pick up the phone. There are days I don't want to do the podcast. There are days I do not want to go live. There are days I don't want to go running. There are days I do not want to write. There are all those days. Do I have those feelings? Absolutely. And you will have those feelings. But the feelings that I work toward every single day are so much stronger than the temporary feelings that I'm feeling in the moment, that I work every single day toward those feelings. Every single day. So when I have the don't wants, I remind myself, what's the feeling you want to have? And the stronger you work those feelings, the stronger your results will be also. All right? Remember, the greatest sale that you will ever make is the sale you own you, because you're more than enough. Leave me your comments if you're watching this on the playback. Certainly appreciate it. Leave me your comments, your additions. What else would you add to this show? Love to hear from you. Stay amazing. Stay in the sales life.